Hi, this is Yvon Prehn, and today we're going to talk about free clip art and photo websites, great resources for guilt-free images. Our agenda today is first we're going to do a quick review of copyright law. Then I'm going to show you some of my favorite sites, and I'll do this by describing them. I'll give you the URL, and then we'll go to the site and I will actually show you how it works. Now, for members of Effective Church Communications, this video webinar plus PDFs and direct links will be available on the website following the webinar. If you're not a member, I certainly hope you think about joining because there are lots of additional resources that will be available for you. But whether you're just looking at this webinar or you're becoming a member or whatever, this is really fun stuff. So let's get started. First of all, to review the copyright laws. Now, this is really important because today with Google, as you all know, you can literally just grab anything off the website and use it, theoretically. But just because you can do things, of course, that doesn't make them legal, and that doesn't make it right for us to do them as believers. We have a higher standard. We serve a Lord of truth, and He expects high standards from us. So we need to understand really what is covered by copyright, what isn't, and we need to be very careful about this. The way that copyright laws are written is, and they have been revised over the years. By the way, on my website, there is, and I'll show you in just a minute, I have a listing of links that you can study this very, very specifically. But the way copyright law stands right now is that if you create something, you own it. You do not have to register it. You do not have to use the little copyright symbol. Whoever creates something owns it for their lifetime plus 70 years. Now, before current copyright law came into being, a number of the things that were created at that time are in what is called the public domain, where anybody can use them. A lot of the Victorian images and the older images that you see on the web fall into this category, and that's why they're made freely available. A lot of governmental works also require, also don't require copyright laws. For example, all the ones that NASA puts out, the wonderful space images and all of that sort of thing, they are not copyrighted because in essence, you, the taxpayers of America, created them, and so you can use them freely. But you still do need to cite that you have permission, and you need to credit NASA. So that's kind of important. But the creator of the rights, you can give away your rights, and you that's just the creator of the rights has the ability to do that. Now, on giving away rights, this is just something that a lot of people do. This isn't odd. That doesn't mean that things aren't good. I do that a lot. I give away a lot of the articles. This webinar, for example, is free. I'm giving it away. People give away images and all that sort of thing, but they're very clear about it. For example, with my stuff, I have a number of my webinars and things on my website that are free, but then others I require that you become a member to pay for the production of them and stuff like that. And it's like that on a lot of things on the web. So that the sites that I'm going to show you, these are ones that people are giving away things completely for free. Now, you can give away some rights, all of the rights, but you need to be very specific about that. And on a lot of the sites, they are very specific. I'll show you some of the things in just a minute. For churches overall, they're a lot more lax. For commercial, you have to be very careful. They're much tighter on that if somebody's going to make money from something. But read the terms of use. That's your best protection. For overall rights, on my website, and this is a free article because I want everybody to be legal and I want us to all do things in a way that are pleasing to the Lord. There is an article with links to the various copyright places, the government, where I have a site that you can go to that you can actually read the laws, and they're not complex or hard to understand. I would encourage all of you to go and look at that. Also a government site that explains fair use. Basically, the most important thing on that is just because you tell somebody where you got something from doesn't mean that you can steal it. That's just not right to do. But I explain that in the article. There's also a blog that explains what is public domain and what isn't, a chart on public domain, because this is really can be very confusing. Some of the things that are and are not correct. A really good article for educators, but very, very good comments on just the morality of using things and not citing them. And then there's a whole new area that's called Creative Commons that is a new way of licensing things and giving credit to creators and all that. It's a little bit too complex to talk about in our brief time here, but you can go on to my link that I have on the website and find out about that. But just to jump into what we're talking about today, please, on any site that you look at, read the terms of use, and they are so different. I know a lot of people don't do this. They see free on there, they jump right in, they start using it. But if we really want to act with integrity as servants of the Lord, I think it's very, very important to read these in detail. Here are some of the ones that, even though they say that they're free, I did not include these sites in our presentation, and I don't use them. Let me read the terms, and then I'll explain why. For this site, free photo bank are free to use as long as you are using them for a website, book, magazine, etc. You cannot download our photos to sell as is or modified from any source. To use our photos, pictures, first of all, I don't like that you can't modify them. Next week, I'm going to show you how to modify photos, and you know, that's kind of bothersome. To use our photos, pictures, you must accredit us on the work that you use the photo picture in for the use of them, or we will consider it a copyright infringement. Now, that little statement there, having to attribute stuff, I understand it. I know why they put that in there. However, if they require that, and this site goes so far as to say, you know, you're violating copyright if you don't do that, which is really not part of the copyright law, but they are saying that's one of their terms. That's just not realistic for churches. I don't know of any church that puts in their church bulletin cover photo by da, 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 or whatever. You know, that's kind of difficult. So you know, anything that says that I tend not to use. It's the same with free pixels. They're even stricter on it. Every free pixels, image, or digital creation used must retain not only the photographer and stuff, they have that, but the domain name, freepixels.com, when used on the internet, in a web page, in printed publications, or in any product, advertising, or packaging. This credit, however, may be cropped out or digitally removed from the photograph, as if we had time to do that, if it is included in readable type near each photograph, group of photographs, in the text, or in the credits. Once again, just for church stuff, we don't have time to do that kind of thing. So if they require it, you can't just ignore them. It's their stuff, but I just prefer to look elsewhere. Also, some sites require rating. They require notification of the photographers. They sometimes combine the free site with a payment site in ways that are really unclear. That specific reason right there is one reason why I don't use stock exchange photos anymore, because they've been bought out by a for-profit company, and it's very hard to tell which ones are free, which ones cost. So that's a difficulty. Or if there are commercial restrictions, I of course don't use them for the things that I create as templates. Now, please don't be discouraged, because there's a number of sites, and I'm going to show them to you, that are just wonderful, that have great terms that you can use. My current favorite that I use all the time, and many images that you see on the site that I use, and all of them that I use to create things that I sell as templates, come from this site. It's called Morgue File. And this is their license. They summarize it in one little paragraph, which is wonderful. It says, Morgue File free license. You are free to remix, to adapt the work commercial, to use this work for commercial purposes without attribution, to use without attributing the original author. Under the following conditions: standalone basis. You cannot sell, license, sublease, rent, transfer, or distribute this image exactly as it is without alteration. Basically what they're saying there, and all the sites say this, you can't go grabbing images and then sell it as your own Clipart collection. You can't do that. Ownership, you may not claim ownership. Any of the above conditions can be waived if you get permission from the contributor. Nothing in this license impairs or restricts the author's moral rights. Hey, that's great. Basically, they're saying use it, be decent, and you know, it's just wonderful. That's so free. Also, too, I just discovered a new site that I am thrilled with. It's from Argentina. I had to use a translator for their rights, but this is what they say: the photographs are among JPEG freejpeg.com. .ar, this is from Argentina, are free to use, only not be sold nor redistribute themselves or others of the images above. Again, basically they're saying, you know, you can't take them and sell them and, you know, etc. SI images may be used in commercial freejpeg.com AR for all other uses, and users must obtain permission. Again, basically they're saying you can use them freely, you can use them commercially, just don't sell them. So there are some other sites that I would recommend to you that I'm going to be putting together in a book that have low cost, or I use them with caution, and I'll tell you about those later. But the ones that I want to show you in this presentation are completely free from any hang-ups, rules, whatever. The first one, Morgue File. I love this site, www.morguefile.com. And by the way, where they get the name, it isn't like dead bodies in the morgue. This comes from the old newspaper term where the morgue was where you kept the old photographs. So this is the Morgue File. This is where the older photographs are. Now let's go into the site and I'll show you some of the things that they have and how it's organized. Okay, here we are in Morgue File. This is what the home page looks like. You can just enter something in here. Let's do fall. This might be a good overall topic just to see what's coming up, because we've all got a lot of things coming up. And you can just see there's it's a falling water drop, but you can see that they have lots of beautiful illustrations here. Actually, there are 111 pages of fall illustrations, and just great stuff. And you can just go right through here and look at them. If you want to look at it a little bit closer, you can click on it, and then it takes you to a larger size illustration. You can download it right from here and then modify it to whatever you want to with it. You will go back out of that and back to the PowerPoint. The next one is RGB stock, and this particular website, a lot of the people that were on the stock exchange website actually left it when stock exchange was bought out by a large commercial company. And so if you are familiar with that site, you will recognize a lot of the people that are on this site. Let me just go ahead and go into this one, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay, here is the RGB stock photo site. And they have just a lot of really marvelous images on here. Let's go ahead and type in fall here and just see what comes up. Here you have the, you know, like waterfalls, but again, you have different fall images. Here we have fall textures and different things like that. Now, the way this one is organized, if say you want to see ones by the same person, you click on there, and this is the person who this is the particular artist with this one, and you can actually see this individual's, you can see their gallery, that's their most popular one. And you can just go to it. Different photographers have a different style, and this person, that's kind of neat, lift high the cross. This person obviously has a number of Christian sites, and by the way, quite a few of the people that are associated with this site are believers. I've been in email contact with them. Also, too, they had a more restrictive policy of use where they wanted you to notify the photographer every time and rate all the different things. And I emailed them and I said, you know, it's really hard for church people, and they're going to be removing it from the site. They said, oh, we agree. We really didn't mean to have that in there. We just copied it from another site. So great folks, and something that, again, you can just see how you can scroll through the different images. And if you find something that you really, let me go ahead and do one more. And if you find something that you really like, by the way, next week I'm going to show you how to modify images of people. You want to be really careful in this because really you're supposed to get model releases and things like that. I'll show you some ways to modify that makes it much much better to use images. And if you want to download it, again, you just can click on it and then just click Save Image As, and download it that way. Just really easy to do. It's great stuff, great stuff. So let's go back to this next one. I quite honestly just discovered this site when I was putting together this presentation, and I am extremely impressed with it. freejpeg.com. Let's go into the site and let me show this to you. Okay, now this site is, as you can see, it's in Spanish. And so you can either translate it, which I just clicked on the translation button, and it translated some of it, but not all of it. I think that while I'm recording it, somehow that messes it up. But it's absolutely fantastic. Just beautiful, beautiful images. Look at some of these. I mean, they're just really great. And whoever the photographers are that are using them, they're rather different than a lot of the other sites. Just really kind of unique. Let me go here to the side. Now, the one problem with this is you can't use the search box unless you know how to search in Spanish. So that can be a little bit of a problem. But look at this one. This is Oxido. Basically, what this is all rust. They have just a whole bunch of these gorgeous images of things that are rusting, and you could use them for backgrounds and you know, all kinds of things. It's just I think it's just absolutely fascinating. Some of the things, of course, oh, look at this. It what do you know, it translated it for me. Took a little while, but there it is. Let's look, say, at oh, what do we want? Nature. Just beautiful images. Look at some of these. I really like whoever their photographers are. They have a lot of them that are very close up, really quite interesting ones, and different than a lot of the ones in the States. I don't know, just perhaps a different perspective, if you will. Let's look at one more that we might. Let's see what concept is. Okay, keys and knots and rocks and wood and just nails and you know, piggy bank. And you can just see how a lot of these you could do absolutely fantastic things with them. And again, these are all copyright free. You can use them, copy them, whatever. So just a great site, something new, something different. And in downloading them, they're the resolution, the clarity of the images is just fantastic. These are some of the highest quality ones that I've seen in a long time. Now, I'm not quite sure what that is a concept of this poor little teddy bear, but anyway, red flag, lots of things that I think you would find very useful. So this is, again, this is freejpeg.com.ar. This next one, this was really, it's really different, but it's really cool. It's not your typical Clipart site. It's actually this lady's blog, thegraphicsfairy.blogspot.com, and I don't know exactly how long she's been doing it, but what she does is she gets vintage postcards and vintage pictures and things like that that are in the public domain, and then she scans them and cleans them up and makes them available on her website. she now has over 1,200 free clip art images. And for those of us working in the church, I mean, some of these are just absolutely wonderful. Let me show it to you. Okay, this is the Graphics Fairy Vintage Images and Crafty Projects. That's kind of a odd one, but here is her listing of the different things. Let me just show you some of these. Angels and fairies. She has 80 images, and again, these download beautifully. Look at, isn't that just the cutest thing? There's another one. I just think some of these are absolutely gorgeous. And then down at the bottom, she always has related ones. Here's a little vintage fairy clip art with the butterfly. And oh, let me show you some of the different ones that are maybe a little more directly church related. For example, let me show you these Easter ones. Kind of a little cherub for Easter, an old-fashioned Easter greetings. Then let's look at maybe these angels for Easter. Isn't that pretty? And then always down at the bottom, she has different ones that are related to it. Let my browser catch up here. Oh, this is beautiful. Every time you go to, there's different ones come up. There is an angel, and here's another one. But, once again, a joyous Eastertide, just beautiful, beautiful stuff that you can download. It's free. Wonderful things, craft projects and dogs and cats and, just, frames. Oh, a number of her frames are really neat too, that you could use, say, for covers of invitations or devotionals. Isn't that one pretty? Um, uh, all kinds of different ones. Look at that. You could click on the images. You could put people's pictures inside. Just lots and lots of different things. Now look at that one. Isn't that beautiful? Clicking on that image, and then you could put someone's picture inside. Just so many things you can do with this site. This site alone is absolutely marvelous, and I think you'd have a great time using it. And then finally, don't forget the Microsoft site. I won't, take a lot of time on this one, but let me go ahead and jump to it because I always find that in my seminars and webinars, there are a few people that are not familiar with this, but this is just one of the greatest resources. So let me go to it. Now, if you haven't been on the Microsoft Clipart downloadable site for a while, it looks a little bit different than it used to. To be perfectly honest, do not care for this setup nearly as well as their previous one, but what can you say? It's Microsoft. They're just going to do what they want to do. Let's look here now. Let's just go along and click this one, and you can see I click seasons, and there's just all kinds of images. They have they don't give you a page count here, but literally thousands and thousands of images, either photographs, clip art, whatever, and you can download them when you decide that you want something. You can, let's go ahead here, and you just can download it. You can either download one image at a time. I'm going to cancel this so you don't have to watch me doing it, or you can put it in your download basket. You can find similar images, just lots of different things. So you can say just add it into your basket, and you have your little basket up here now. They've moved the location of it. When you're ready to download it, you can download everything at once, and it will put it right in to your Microsoft Clipart gallery. So when you have something opened up, you can see all of the different things. So really great stuff. Some excellent free clip art, and this is all provided by companies that would normally charge you quite a bit. Now, you can't use this for commercial things, but for stuff for your church and any nonprofit things, you can use it in PowerPoint presentations, all that kind of thing, and that's all completely legal and just a great, great resource. Just in conclusion, there is a lot of free stuff out there. I've showed you 4 of really what I think are the best ones, plus the Microsoft site that is just so useful. There's probably hundreds of other sites out there that say they're free, but they either have very restrictive reasons for how and why you can use things and all that sort of thing, or they aren't really free, or they're confusing and stuff like that. The ones that I showed you are totally free, and as you can see, you don't need attribution. You can just use them, and they're just wonderful for the kinds of things that we do in the church. So there's no reason to use what isn't legal. Please do follow the terms for each site. If it's a site that takes donations, and some of them do donate periodically, if it's one with links, like in the graphics fairy, she has links to a lot of things. If something looks interesting to you, don't just write it down and use it later. Link right off the site and she'll get credit for that. And periodically write a note to say thank you. People appreciated that they you put stuff up there for free, and it's just courteous to say thank you. And whatever you do on all of these things, please do create great materials for the kingdom of God. There's lots more on this website of Effective Church Communications to help you do that, and my prayer is that you will do it well and bring our Lord joy. Lord be with you today.